Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is the first lecture on the AI course, and I'm pretty sure you guys have probably heard of the term AI a lot of times at this point, because you know AI is everywhere. It's in your phone, it's in your search results, it's in your Netflix recommendation, like even in your camera filters. So AI is basically everywhere these days, okay? But what actually is AI? What does it mean when we say artificial intelligence? How does it work, and why is it becoming such a big deal? So to answer these questions, I'm gonna teach this course, and we'll dive deep into AI. Like we'll learn breadth first search algorithm, depth first search, we'll learn digest cross algorithm, and we'll also learn neural networks. So just make sure to watch all the lectures in this playlist and you should be good. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this course finally. So by answering the question, what is actually artificial intelligence? Okay, so in simple terms, AI is about making machines behave or think intelligently, just like how humans do. Okay, so it's basically like mimicking how our brains work. Okay, it's more than just making robots look smart. It's about making robots being rational. Okay, and what do I mean by when I say AI should be rational? So let's go ahead and explore that. Okay, so AI is about being rational, right? So a rational agent is something that can sense its environment, act based on what it senses, and adapt by learning from experience or changes. And an example of that would be a self-driving car. Okay, so what happens here is that it senses the road with cameras and sensors. Okay, so it's using senses, right? And it's acting by steering, accelerating, and braking, and it's adapting to its environment by like the changing weather, traffic, roadblocks, and constantly updating its decision, right? So here we will call this agent a rational agent because it has all these things, right? Senses, acting, and adapting. So that's a rational agent in action, always choosing the smartest action it can, even in uncertain situation. Okay, right, so at its core, AI is all about making machines smart, not just fast or powerful, but intelligent, right? That means it can do things we normally associate with human brains, just like learning, understanding any language, making decisions, and recognizing face, just like how we humans do, right? Let's go ahead and explore the 4 big ideas behind AI. The first one is thinking like humans. By that I mean, can we replicate the way human brain reasons and learns? And the second one is acting like humans. And acting like humans means like a machine is able to fool you that you're talking to a human. Like you're making a conversation with an AI and you're being fooled that you're talking to a human. So you're gonna call that a rational agent, right? And that's the idea basically behind the Turing test. And we're gonna talk about the Turing test later, so don't worry about it. And the third one is thinking rationally. And thinking rationally means, can machine apply logic and rules like philosophy or mathematics? And lastly, we have acting rationally. Acting rationally means, can machine take the best possible actions based on what they know, like even with limited or uncertain information. Like it's all about decision making. Okay, so AI, it's not just copying humans. Sometimes it's about acting smarter than humans, okay, especially when it comes to data pre-processing. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about some real world examples of AI applying these 4 ideas. Okay, so the first one here we have is Netflix recommendation. So you guys are probably familiar with this one. You know how the AI is gonna recommend all the shows and movies that you should watch based on your previously watched history. So that's AI in action. And Siri and Alexa, how it uses natural language processing. It's a branch of AI to understand and respond. And the third example we have is the Tesla autopilot, how it uses AI to process live video and sensors to drive safely. Okay, so all this brings us back to the idea of thinking humanly and acting humanly. Thinking humanly is inspired by cognitive science, and it's basically how our brain learns and reasons, because there are millions of neurons in our brain, and neuron networks, which is like a branch of deep learning, it is inspired from the idea of neurons in our brain. And if you want to know more about like neural networks, I will make a separate video on neurons networks in my future videos. So if you don't understand what's neural networks right now, it's okay. So we'll go deep into that. But for now, you can know, you can understand that neural network is basically built on the concept that we have a lot of neurons in our brain, and it's like about copying the way our brain works. Okay. While on the other hand, acting humanly is where Alan Turing comes in. In 1950, he proposed a test: if a machine can hold a conversation with a human and that person can tell it's a machine, then that's intelligence. Okay. So to be able to pass that test, the machine needs to understand the language, store and use knowledge, reasons logically, and learn from experience. And that's basically a lot, and we're still like working on it. Okay, and now the big question: how does the AI actually work? Like, what is the secret ingredient behind the AI? So what do you guys think? So the secret ingredient is, of course, data, right? Because data is everywhere. Where is it getting data from? So it's getting data from the websites and the internet, the search engine, social media, blogs, news, etc. Apps and devices like your phone, fitness trackers, smart home devices, etc. Sensors like cameras, microphones, temperature or GPS sensors in cars or robots. Database, huge collections of organized data like medical records, financial data, or shopping history. User input, like all the forms that you fill, the clicks you make, the videos you watch, all that helps train data. So basically, anytime something is recorded or tracked digitally, it can become data for AI. The more higher quality the data gets, the smarter and more useful it becomes. So everything that you do on the internet is being tracked, and it's providing AI the data. Just like you get better at video games the more you play, right? So based on this idea, AI gets smarter the more data it gets. Most AI today uses something called machine learning, ML. That's when we feed tons of examples into a system, and it learns the patterns on its own. Within that, like within the machine learning, there is deep learning. Okay, and deep learning is when the neural networks, again, which is inspired by the human brains, like think of neural networks like as a mini brains, okay, that can recognize to learn faces, detect spams or not spams, in their emails, and even write musics. Okay, so like at its core, AI learns from data. Okay, so at its core, AI is about learning from data. Imagine you are learning to recognize dogs. You look at thousands of pictures of dogs and start to pick up on patterns on like furs, ears, eyes, shape. And AI does the same thing, but just like way faster and with way more data. So this is the concept behind deep learning that you're seeing on the on your screen right now. So this is an example of deep learning, which uses neural networks, which means many hidden layers. Okay, and these hidden layers, they are like learning from patterns and then telling you what is the output. And this is basically the neural networks that I was talking about, and we'll learn about more about neural networks in the future videos, so don't worry if this looks confusing. Okay, and like, okay, so let's get back. So neural networks, they uses like many layers. So these networks, they can detect objects in an image, they can recognize speech, and they can translate any language, and they're even behind tools like ChatGPT, which you probably use every day. So let's go ahead and talk about what AI can currently do. Okay, so what do you guys think? Can AI currently detect diseases in medical scans? What do you guys think? Yes or no? And can AI write an intentional funny story? Like the current AI, what do you guys think? Can it do these tasks or not? Yes or no? And what about like making ethical decisions in messy and real world situation? Can the current AI do this or not? Playing a chess game, can AI do this? And washing dishes and putting them away, can AI do this? Reading humans' emotions. And finally we have proving mathematics theorems. What do you guys think? Like, can AI do all these things? So the answer to all these is not yes. Like, all of them are not yes. Some of them are still no. So there are some things in here that AI still cannot do. Okay, so let me know in the comments below which ones do you guys think the answer is no to them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and label these images so you guys can, so it's easier for you guys to make a comment. So I have labeled these images, so let me know which ones you think the answer is no, that AI cannot do this currently. Okay, so like the first one is detecting diseases, second one is funny story, the third one is ethical decision, fourth one is chess game, fifth one is washing dishes, and sixth one is reading human emotions, and seventh one is proving mathematics theorem. Okay, so just let me know in the comments below which ones you think is no. The current AI cannot perform this task. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so just like how there's a lot of benefits of using AI, but it also comes with many risks. So for example, one of the risks is decision making biases. For example, I think you have heard the term garbage in, garbage out, because it's used a lot even in data science. So it's like if you're teaching AI with garbage, you're teaching it with bias information, so it's gonna output bias, right? So that's a risk of making the decision biased. And another risk is job displacement. As you guys know, it is replacing a lot of jobs right now. And another risk is privacy and surveillance. AI is AI is constantly taking our data, so we are compromising on our privacy. What's more scary is that what about one day we make an AI that is just out of our control, like we cannot control it at all and it's controlling us? What do you guys think about such situation? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next lecture. And that was it for today's lecture, and if you find this video helpful, thanks for watching, and